Hello, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to Living with Intention Live. I'm April Wyatt, and I am so grateful to have you here today. We have two phenomenal women who are going to talk about fluidity and flow and that power to recalibrate in our lives. That is so important right now to understand that when we come into spaces in our lives where we feel that it no longer fits, right? There's some questioning about ourselves, about where we're at, our environments, and this is where recalibration happens. And so that is often required, right, for recalibration. It's not a dramatic overhaul. It is not about just starting over, but a realignment with where you actually are at in your life at this particular moment. And this fluidity begins when you stop forcing the momentum, setting on that old thinking that we have to make it work this way because this is all I know. This is what people tell me I need to be, social conditioning, things of that nature. And when we can access that fluidity, we don't have to fix anything, but it's just to slow down enough to feel what has been overridden, right, in our lives. And this is where the breath comes in. This is what I'm all about as a somatic performance coach, is bringing it back to our bodies, bringing it back to our breath, slowing down the nervous system. This is where decisions can be made with clarity, right? And we can move forward with confidence. So that being said, I want to share a space that I am creating, and that's the Bali retreat. And this is happening October 10th through the 17th. This is a space where you can gain more clarity. And this retreat is on the northern shore of Bali. So it's right there on the ocean. And this experience is designed, right, so that way you can experience that pause and rise as you're with the ocean, with the jungle, with the environment, with like-minded people who are tired of the anxiety, the overwhelm, the pressure, all that noise of life. This gives you space to be in a receptive mode, right? To be in that flow. And people, as I've had past retreats there, right, they always say that they leave with more energy. Right? They have clear decisions about where they're going in their lives. And they have a deeper sense of alignment to themselves. So if you're interested in this Bali retreat, there's a little small QR code down there. You could take a picture of that. You can reach out to me about what it is that you are needing. And I can share with you how this retreat can definitely allow you to pause so that you can rise. And I also see this as building relationships, building communities, of course, with ourselves first, and then it ripples out to others. And as you can see in this picture here, this is one of our retreat members, and this is Brian Cochran, my retreat host, and this is in the Bali space where we have everything happening there. And when you're in that space, you can remember who you are. And not just with the Bali retreat, but in any community that you connect with. And that is the same recalibration, right, reflected in your relationships as we build when we're in that right spaces and we connect with the right people. And that's how I met one of our guests today or this evening, wherever you're tuning in from. I'll say Ara, through a fellow connection of the Hounds of Business, Tammy Cohen. So, Tammy, I hope that you're watching us today. But the Hounds of Business is a space that I truly enjoy. And this is the founder, Mike Asherbranner, and he really does believe in soul-centered, right, heart-centered professionals who are looking to connect, looking to make warm introductions, leveling up our businesses and communities. And if you're curious about Mike, you can find him on LinkedIn. You can actually DM me. I'd love to share more about that too, since I am one of the leaders of the Hounds of Business. And it's just not about making connections. It's really building sustainable, long-lasting business and personal relationships. It's not a one and done here. As you work and start, gravitating with the Hounds of Business, I absolutely enjoy working with everyone there. The co-creation that happens there, and it's a special place to be. And so I am honored to be joined, speaking of special connections, by two women who are standing there at the precipice of their life and finding that fluidity, understanding what recalibration means. This is where the conversation deepens, where interactions turn into meaningful collaborations. And so we will talk about questions. We'll bring up questions to you, to the audience. We'll really reflect on what it takes to be in that space, to recalibrate. And so I'm going to bring up our guests to the stage, Minnku Buttar and Ara and the Nest. Yes. Welcome in, friends. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Thank you so much, April, for having me back here again. Really, I look forward to this beautiful interaction once again on this beautiful topic. Excuse me.
Yes. And I appreciate you getting here even. And this is about community, as we talked about, because Minnku was having some challenges getting logged in, and she called a tech person and they walked her through it. How amazing is that, right? Just have somebody come in and help you like that.
That's amazing.
Yes.
That's support that the universe brings you, because I think your intentions are right.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Just as Ara is here.
Hey, how are you?
Doing well.
Hey,
First
Ara.
thing first, April, thank you for having me.
You are most welcome. Thank you for being here and saying yes.
Pleasure's all mine.
Yeah. Likewise. Yeah.
Mm. And I met you, Ara, through Tammy, who is
Yes.
a resilient, amazing woman. And we just clicked so well. And this was about, 6 months ago?
August.
Yes. How amazing.
Yeah,
And
August.
Minnku, I had you on my live or on my podcast, actually. It was over 2 years ago. It was about 3 years ago. And we've kept in touch since then.
Absolutely. And it's absolutely, I think some people are in your life to stay. I see Leslie here.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you've been on my podcast as well. And then we've had the pleasure of twice over exchanging ideas. And today is our third interaction. So it feels so nice.
Yes, it feels nice just to keep this flowing because both of you carry so much depth in everything that you've experienced in life. And that this really brings it to when, so first of all, I know who you are, kind of getting, excuse me, ahead here. So please introduce yourselves to our audience, who you are and how your life has been recalibrated recently. Let's talk about that. We'll lead into that. So, who would like to share first?
Minnku, go ahead.
Are you going seniority wise, years wise? Then I'm
No,
absolutely
just
happy
go. Go
to.
ahead.
Thank you.
Go
Thank
with
you
the
so
flow.
much.
Go with the flow.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much for being in the flow. Yeah. So I, first of all, once again, thank you, April. It just means so much to talk about this particular topic, flowing through life and recalibrations, because I think fluidity could be my middle name, because it's I I feel fluidity. It's such a beautiful, blessed trait or a human capacity, if I can say it like that. And in all the roles that I have played, I show up because I got the tools and strategies together. I pulled up my act together to be in the flow. I think we flow, but to be in the flow where, no matter what, you flow with, in the direction of water, whether turbulent or calm, it doesn't matter. So, yeah, I'll just take 2 minutes, like April, for this opportunity. I'll take it up. You know my journey, and I just quickly recap. It's been very colorful. I grew up in 8 cities, thanks to my dad's work in the Indian Air Force, and I feel blessed. I really do. All those people I met, the exposures I got, it probably shaped me. I didn't realize it at that time. But it hasn't been all a smooth sailing, because I think at some point, my family became very dysfunctional and toxic, and I found myself as a caretaker over the years. Um, and that's not easy. And I think it took away chunks of me and how I wanted to be and what I wanted to do. So looking back, I think of myself as that gold bar, and it has to go through the fire to become that spectacular ornament. And I think those years molded me. I then, in my marriage, lived in 8 countries. I've faced carjacks. I have been part of angry mobs in Nigeria. And then I came back to 2005 to talking about taking on many roles, interior designing to fashion designing, and today as a wellness coach. I think what I'm trying to do here, April, is to serve humanity in the only way that I know it, loving kindness with compassion and a vision to help people move from darkness to light. And that pretty much describes where I am. I want to be part of, I am being a part of people's chaos, fears, successes. And that's the passionate journey that I am going through my retreats, through my work. And that's pretty much me.
Mm. Wow, you really summed it up very quickly, Minnku, because there was a lot in there, and we'll come back to that. We'll come back to how you recalibrated through that. So, Ara, please introduce yourself.
I'm Aradhana, as you all know. I've been an entrepreneur all my life. This journey started when I was 26 years old, 26 years old, and from doing furniture to trading in commodities to running a restaurant to running a store in Shanghai, I've done it all. And I call myself a jewelry designer by accident. I never knew that this creative side of me existed till I actually one day decided to do something about it. And since then, for the last 15 years, jewelry has been my passion, my life. And that is one thing that taught me to be fluid and go with the flow. Because the more fluid I became, the better my creativity. Then I try to control things. When you're in control of things, you try and control things. Life never goes the way it goes. And people say, who is your best teacher? Which is your best teacher? Life. Life taught me fluidity, and life taught me flow. And very recently, I've started a new venture, which was very close to my heart, to create a platform globally to kind of create a sisterhood. And that's why I called it The Nest. I'm curating wellness retreats for women, the first one being held in Bali in Jan 2026. And that also came with the fluidity and the flow, because I feel that when you decide that you let life happen is when what is meant for you comes to you.
Exactly.
Planning doesn't get it. Planning doesn't get it. Making a business none of my businesses came with a business plan. None of them. They just
Say that
happened.
again. Say that again. I think people
None
really
of them
need.
happened with a business plan. I decided what I wanted to do. Then I just let it flow. I let the universe take over, and it always worked out. It always has worked out. And so for me, fluidity and flow is something which I hold very close to my heart. I always say, go with the flow, be in the moment. And what is my mantra is now. There is no tomorrow. It is now. There's not even a next moment. It is here and now, here and now.
Yes,
That is
exactly.
so true. That's so true, because I don't think flow is about doing more, is it? It's about what
Doing less.
matters at the right
Yes.
time and without banging
Yes.
your head against the wall.
Yes. And doing less.
Yes. Let
Yeah.
there be someone up there pulling the strings. So true.
Because
Yes.
man proposes, God disposes.
So true.
So yeah, so you have to, yes, of course, you can't just go with the flow and not plan. There has to be a little bit of planning. There has to be a little bit of streamlining, a little bit of structure, but the rest, it has to be fluid.
Yes. And in those fluid moments, as you said so perfectly, Ara, that this is where creativity comes in. This is where
Yes.
we are connected to our higher power, whatever that is for each individual that's tuning in today or on a replay.
Yeah.
This is where we learn more about ourselves in the process. Yeah. And
Yes. Yes.
Minnku, I wanted to get your perspective on that too. What was a pivotal point in your life to where you realized that maybe there was some resistance or feeling that the pressure to be someone that you feel that you weren't?
Right, right. April, I was just thinking about that combustion
Yes.
point, the eureka moment. But it's not a eureka moment because it comes with its own tribulations and challenges. We all have so many roles. We are achievers, we are caretakers, providers, leaders. As women, we feel the ones we need to nourish. Um, I just feel, for me, the mantra would be like, what Ara said, just move on. It's the trouble starts, I think, when we cling on to a certain role. Um, when you start feeling life is rigid, the flow that we're talking about gets blocked. Not because life is chaotic, but because we over identify with a version of ourselves that no longer fits.
Yes. Yes. Well said.
And that is so important because we're talking about walking the talk from resistance to fluidity. I think for me, to answer your question, April, I think flow for me began the moment I chose the truth over the roles that I had overgrown. And for me, living fluidity, the next word I can think of after flow, is recognizing when an identity or a habit or a belief or a pattern or even a relationship has stopped supporting your growth.
Mhm.
And when it's holding you back, I think it's time to let it soften, to shift and fall away. So for me, life has never been about figuring out, but to move with awareness, and for me, intuition and courage to and that space to step into the what's next, that excitement. So I've always listened deeply to my intuition.
Mm.
And for me, that is true fluidity, when you fall perfectly into the space that life is creating for you. um, and like Ara said, listening to your intuition. So if I look back, yes, it took a lot of courage, but I do not regret any choices that I made,
Yeah.
none of the roles I played, and it's taught me something, it shaped me who I was. And my present role, I shared that story. Take a moment. I was in this fast train in Japan, and I'd done that interior designing and I'd done the fashion designing, and then this lady, 99-year-old Okinawian, she kind of just came in and 45 minutes conversation in this fast train, and I realized that uh, this is something I need to do. It resonated with me how we can heal ourselves first and then hold space for others. And I think that for me was the changing
Mhm.
point.
Yes,
I just needed to show up for myself and for others. Yeah.
exactly, Minku. And thank you for sharing your story and for being courageous enough to step out of that. That you said something about, had to do with like comfort zone, or
Yeah.
when you feel the pressure and that nature. And I want to bring it because I am in the about the body. What would you say, Ara, for those who are watching or listening, about how do they know? What are the signs of when they are not in the flow? What's happening with their
So
minds, with their bodies? What's that sensation feel like? What did you
the
experience with
sensation is of being claustrophobic, that that you know there is something missing, but you don't know what.
that?
And it comes out in a lot of times in form of anger, la, lack of patience. And it's when these things happen, then you have to realize, sit back and realize what is it that is bothering you. And it is not a situation, it is not a person, it is something at a cellular level. And that's when you realize, aha, what is my purpose? And the day you realize your purpose is when you start being fluid, because you start accepting situations. And when you accept situations, you accept them, you deal with them, and you let go. It's when we are planning, when we have a timeline or a frame, we have to do this, we have to do this, we have to do this. We stop being ourselves. We are trying to project something for the others. You may be trying to be a good colleague, you may be trying to be a good boss, but we stop being trying to be us.
Mm.
And it is when we
Yes.
have to be us, you realize, I need to change.
Yes. What was that
And
pivotal moment for you, Ara? When did you realize that this was the time for you to shift? Or was it, you said anger? Did you get angry? Were you
Yes.
like a volcano?
Yes. I was like a volcano. I would erupt and it would go, and then suddenly I would be calm. But then I would erupt again. And I sat down one day and said, what am I doing? Why? What is bothering me? And I realized I was not being me. I want to, like, yes, want to achieve success. Yes, you want to achieve fame. You want to do certain things. So there were restrictions. Okay, I need to do this by this much of time. There were frameworks, and nothing goes as planned, because you're not just working on yourself, you're working as a team. So you may be following a timeline, but your team member may not be. Right? That's when I realized, and this was about 14 years ago. And that's when I gave up all my businesses and I said, okay, I'm going to do jewelry. And jewelry wasn't born with a purpose or an intention. One day it just happened. And when I started doing it, I realized that when I create, it gives me a sense of purpose. When it gives me a sense of purpose, it gives me joy. And when I get joy, I get clarity.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And that's when I realized,
joy is the foundation, right?
Yes, joy. And joy is when you realize you're doing what you want to do and who you are. It's not what you want to be for others. It's a very big thing to own up for yourself and say, I don't care what you think of me, but this is what I'm going to do. We are all put into certain categories. Or you have, because you come from a certain background, you have to do this. Because you're in a certain position in your company, you have to do this. There's so many have to that you forget what you are, who you are. So this moment came to me 14 years ago when I started losing my cool at the smallest of smallest things. And I sat myself down. Okay, what is bothering you? And I made life changes.
What did that look like? What was the first thing? Do you
Very
remember?
tough, very tough, very tough. Especially coming from an Asian background.
Mm-hmm.
Our social bringing up is so different, where women are given a certain kind of a role and you have to fit that role. So it was tough. It was, you can say, rebellion. That I'm going to do this, not for anybody else, but for myself. The moment I do it for myself, I'm happier. When I'm happier, I'm calm and I'm joyful. Then the chance of losing your cool and becoming angry or frustrated doesn't arise at all.
Yes. And it feels like when you said, it was very tough and you had to be your own person, was there a pushback with family dynamics?
No, not for me, but society, yes.
Okay. What did that look like?
Tough, very tough. Because then you become a rebel, right? Oh, she's a rebel. This is not the norm of the society. This is not what you're supposed to do. So if you're supposed to go right, you're going left. And that came from my creativity of creating jewelry. So I'll give you a small example. I would sit with my artisans and I would tell them, do this, do that. And they'd say, no, you can't do this. You have to do this. So, I got so tired of telling them, this is not what I want. I want something else. So one day I sat him down. I said, listen, imagine there's a nuclear bomb in India. He looked at me surprised. I said, the whole world will be running right. The only person you will see running to the left will be me. Now that's me in my design. That's me in my creativity. So that day he understand that to be me in my line is tough. You have to think ahead of the world. You have to not follow. So for me, there is no box that you have to think beyond the box. You have to think your original thoughts.
Yeah,
And
the
that can only
originality.
happen. Yes. Only, no 5 fingers are alike. So no 5 human beings can be alike. So why do we have to follow preconceived notions that because you are A, you have to do this. Because you are B, you have to do this. All of us have come with a purpose at a soul level.
Yes.
So we have to find that purpose.
Exactly. And it's through trials and tribulations, finding what feels right. And I know Minnku has some valuable wisdom to share also about this hot topic that we're talking about. We're bringing forward some
I
things.
was I was so intently listening because it was completely Ara, as if you were echoing exactly what I feel from the age of, I would say, I'd probably be about 17. Actually, 11 is the first recollection I have of getting on to alone without telling my parents onto a red bike in Chandigarh, which is North India, and just saying, taking off on the bike and saying, I'm going to Mother Teresa's little orphanage that she ran in Chandigarh, and playing with the children. So I think for me, my purpose has been to be there for others. I see myself as a crusader. You know how we have different purposes in life and different personalities. So for me, I feel when I think of why am I always giving in this life? Why am I such a giver? And then, I've been very fortunate, April, to have studied with many, many masters who took me under their wing. So I've studied different scriptures of different religions. I have meditated in dark caves with just bats, and had many wise conversations with evolved masters. And the thing I come when see, we have a blueprint, all of us, that we carry in our DNA from life to life. We chose the wombs we came to earth from. Like we chose our mother's wombs. We came here with a purpose. We came here to recalibrate, to learn the lessons we didn't learn. So if I feel if there is challenges you're coming your way, if there's a person who's perpetually going to be challenging, if there's a partner that we attract, it's an ongoing pattern.
Mhm.
It could also be, for example, transgenerational trauma. So when you realize, or when I realized that my purpose is to give back all that I might have taken in many lifetimes, I came into myself. So for me, flow was not to become someone new, but it was to remember the rhythm of life that was intended for me.
Mm. I love that. Yeah, we need
So
to remember.
yes,
Yes.
yes,
Yes.
and
We need to
and
remember.
we just need to tap into it, and that comes in those pauses of silence. And I think for me, when I became a facilitator of mindfulness, I was always on the go. I just love my company so much now that my friends claim I've become antisocial. But when I have recalibrated, what I bring to the table is a better version of me. It's a happier version. And I made this shift of understanding, which is really the main talk. I'm actually coming to your country in February as a
No.
motivational speaker in Tampa Bay with Dennis Piroko. And I just feel, can we understand as humans the difference between joy and happiness? So there's this beautiful book, April, called The Book of Joy, which is a conversation between Desmond Tutu
Yes.
and the Dalai Lama. And
Yes.
you know how beautifully they talk about how happiness is this little butterfly that jumps flower to flower, and joy could be in understood as that steady flower which
Mhm.
absolutely doesn't hesitate to share its fragrance with all that pass by. So I think just to be um, unapologetically courageous. So rightfully said, Ara, that you need so much courage because
Correct.
the society expects you to be a version that they are comfortable with.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
You
Yes.
know? So
Absolutely.
what do
Absolutely.
you do? You ground yourself, you work on yourself, you work at healing yourself. So for me, those I have in fact created something called the 5 Gs of flow, April, that I was excited to share with you, which I didn't get a chance before. And the 3 Gs are grit, groundedness, grace, going with the flow, and growth timing.
Yes. You've said
And
it all.
I think that pretty much allows me to be in a calm space. I used to be as well an angry person, but now I step back out of my body. Remember that conversation we all three had about how do you absolve, resolve, and dissolve? And I'm sure April
Yeah.
will bring that up. But I think if we do not step out and become a watcher and watch what we're doing, if we do not step into a space where we are looking soul to soul, then that is where the mayhem in the world and the conflict in the world is coming.
Yes. And I want to bring it back to the joy, Minnku. You said so many amazing, you know, just golden nuggets in there that you were saying. Although I think what it comes down to, it's all about us and how we're connecting with our own selves.
Yes.
And Ara alluded to that in the beginning as well. And the joy is that steady, it is a steady flow. When we are connected to ourselves, to our higher power, in that state of flow, things go so much easier. Things just, it just all
They
lines
actually flow.
up. And it's
Yes.
like, wow, did that really just happen? How, and then the mind tries to conceptualize all the things and gets in the way. But when we trust in that joy is always there, it is always there. And as that happiness is the butterfly, it's flighty, it's just here and there. And it's when we're looking outside ourselves, when we're looking for somebody else to validate or to give us something to make us happy. That's when we have that expectation.
Yeah.
And no one can make us feel any certain way. It's all about us. So bringing the fluidity and flow back to ourselves, to a space to where we're just being here and witnessing life as it happens. And how exciting is that? It is so exciting to be alive, to be part of the world, because we're just here for a glimpse. We're just here for a glimpse. And speaking of a glimpse, Diana's here. Hello, Diana. Thank you so much for hopping on. She is also an amazing hound as well, and just grateful the support of this community. So back to what we wanted to get to, Minnku, is you talked about those spaces where we are going to say it for me again, the 3, and my mind just went the dissolve.
Okay. The absolve, resolve, and dissolve, which
There
is
we go.
how I live my life. And also, I think, April, it's about surrendering to your bestie upstairs.
Yes. Just
Trusting.
surrendering.
Yes, surrendering to your bestie. I call him bestie, and I have a lot of conversations because I just tell him, you handle my life's plots and the twists. And also, I think our intuition, which I call my dignified gut whisperer. So I think, those 3, the absolve, I think there's an act of release there, because when you absolve, it's very, all of us can have their own interpretation of absolve, resolve, dissolve, and actually end up doing a PhD. And I'm very tempted. I wanted to speak in a TEDx, and after 29 years, I spoke in a TEDx, talking about the art of thinking. And now I'm thinking, should I do a PhD? And I would definitely choose one of those topics because for me, my understanding, April, of absolve is letting go of identities, your expectations and narratives that don't serve you. It's like clearing up space because you can't move freely with all the baggage,
Oh,
all
yes.
the hurt, all that resentments that we carry, which end up then as cancer and physical diseases. But we in the Indian scriptures are taught that everything has a dharma. And like Ara said beautifully, the minute we stop asking, who do I need to be accepted? I think if we can answer that, we can absolve. And resolving then needs clarity. You have to be outside your body. You got to have clarity on your actions, and you have to meet your decisions with conviction. I think that's where I'm going with this. Intuition is one, but you need courage to follow it up and make wise decisions with conviction.
Say that one more time.
If I can say it, because it's just like a
Just the
download.
last, I know, just that last sentence with conviction. What was that with conviction?
Okay. So I think when we align to our inner truth and there's no pressure from the outside world, your intuition can guide your clarity and your actions. And when you move with courage to make actions based on your intuition, that's when you make wise decisions with conviction. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah,
And I know
yeah.
that Ara, she
She's
has
like,
a lot of
add
she's
to that.
she's getting a lot of information here that she wants to
Download.
share with wisdom.
Yeah. No. It's just that, like you said, what we all are talking, it's like you are saying something I want to say, and it's like words out of my mouth. But absolve is, my mantra in life has always been acceptance. Accept the situation, accept the person. Again, for me, nothing is about you, it's about me. I have to accept myself as who I am with all my flaws. And if I can accept my strengths, I have to accept my weaknesses. And that's when one absolves, because you let go. Actually, you let go. And like Minnku said, that you always have to look from the outside. I always say, come out of your own shell, not at the same level. Go to the 5th floor and look down and see what you're doing. I always say, go higher and then look down as to what is happening. Always have a view from the top, never at eye level, because you cannot see. Eye level is, you will see what you want to see. You have to see what you don't want to see.
Yes.
For me, that's important. It's always about what you can see, everybody sees. I can show you what I want to be. But I have to see myself from what I am within. And that's why I always say, go to the 5th floor, then look down and see who you are and what you're all about. And the moment we do that, the moment we see that, half the battle is won, because we've resolved those situations in our mind. We've resolved those circumstances around us. And then everything just gets dissolved. It goes into thin air. It just disappears, because there's nothing. With acceptance, there's nothing left to resist, to change. The problem happens when you're trying to change something, even when you want to change yourself. That's where the
Yes.
resistance comes, with
Yes.
others, with circumstances, with people. The moment you say, I accept myself for who I am, I accept, let's say, April or Minku, there is no resistance. And when there's no resistance, there's only joy.
Yeah, because we get right back to
Yes.
where we should
Yeah,
be.
we
And
should
it's
be.
that whatever we
And
resist will persist.
persist. And the thing is,
Yes.
that's where resilience comes in. There will be challenges. And when a challenge comes, I always say, bring it on. Bring on more. I tell the universe, one challenge, no, give me more. Because every challenge makes me a better person. Because again, it will only make me a better person if I decide and I see things for as they are, and not to prove to the world that, oh, this is the best, or this is the best version of me, or this is the best situation of me. So it is confusing. It is uh, it is like, I don't know, it is tough. It is very
Yes.
tough.
And you know what the confusion is because the mind cannot conceptualize
Yeah, yeah,
who
yeah,
we are truly becoming. It can only work from past. And then
yeah,
it attempts to project it into the future. And it's not right or wrong. It's just how we're hardwired as
Yeah.
humans.
Yeah.
This
The
is how our
DNA.
brains work.
Mhm.
This is how we're trying to conceptualize this. So that is the challenging part. This is the hard work that Ara is talking about. And it's because this is where we're unbecoming. We're undoing the things, yet we're getting glimpses of the flow, right? It's
Yeah.
like, oh,
Yeah.
one day, oh, yeah, it's flowing so well. And the next day, resistance. This is
Hmm.
the recalibration.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
really working with your nervous system as well. This is what I
Hmm.
do with my clients.
Hmm.
Let's bring awareness of what's happening in the body, what thoughts,
Yeah.
what repetitive, ruminating thoughts that are belief systems, BS, that aren't true, that are holding us back, that keeping us in the box, the social constructions, as we've talked about,
Mm.
expectations we put on ourselves, or things that worked in the past that seemed to be good. Yet we're in that flow and we're understanding more about ourselves. So yeah, it is challenging. It is
It
it
is.
is wonky
It's- Yeah.
because this is
it is.
growth. This is
And,
growth.
and April, if you're really looking at what Ara said, making things difficult for yourself, try attending a Vipassana. Uh, Vipassana, Vipassana is that beautiful 10-day retreat. If you ever, it's all over the world, but it is the silent retreat. And I just went on my first Vipassana in February this year, very close to Bangalore. And believe me, when we talk about having tough conversations, when we talk about tough, every single demon, everything you swept under the carpet, every dark, skeleton in the dark closet is going to come to you. For 10 days, your telephones are taken away, and all you do is sit and you just have conversations with yourself. So, Vipassana is really about absolving, resolving, and dissolving. I went through a journey where I forgave people who I thought had caused me so much injury. I I resolved issues. I did a lot of forgiving. I came back with so much gratitude. And there were two concepts. We all crave, we crave, and also we crave for things, for we have cravings and we have aversions. So everything we talked
Mm,
about just now, we crave and we have aversions. So
we do.
if we can choose a beautiful pause somewhere in between where we don't have cravings and we don't have aversion, then it's a beautiful space. And I think that's where intuition, I keep saying intuition is something which will get you through any kind of mess. And we women, with no disrespect to the guys here, I think we have, in India, we call it Shakti, but this very receptive, responsive, very alive quality that we all have, which we can access intuition so much more energetically because we are
Because
wired for that.
yes, our body literally
We're
flows.
wired. Yeah, we are wired for that. Sorry, guys,
Yeah.
but
No.
yeah.
That's what we do. We
It's
create.
strange that you use the word Shakti. I'm coming up with a jewelry collection called Shakti, where
Yay.
it's
Oh,
going to be
yay.
3 forms of Goddess Lakshmi,
The God,
Kali, and Durga. Yeah.
that is
Wonderful.
so awesome.
Well,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
I want
let's.
to just acknowledge just a few, like Diana's coming in and she's recognizing now about, she's a professional boxer, by the way. So talk
Wow.
about, beauty in bronze here. This is
Mhm.
who she is. And she's in that flow as she's talking about. And this can be for anyone in their work, whatever they're doing. It doesn't have to be just jewelry, just boxing, planning retreats, things of that nature. Noticing how our minds create that resistance and how we understand this is us recalibrating. This is how we're overcoming things. And it's growth, as Jennifer said. Thank you so much, Jennifer, for being here. She's one of the founders of I Am Magazine. Phenomenal. If anyone is
Wow.
curious about that,
Yeah.
check out Jennifer. But it is growth, that recalibration and understanding more about ourselves in the process. And I think this is one of your friends. Um,
Oh yeah,
I
Gitanjali. Yes, also
yes,
happy to see Gitanjali is here. Yes, a very dear
yes,
friend from
yeah, great.
Bangalore.
So lovely to have Gitanjali here. So it is all of that we're talking about, and understanding that when we can be in those spaces, understand the process we're going through, giving ourselves space, as Minnku said, to pause, to be with that. This is where we can accept, as Ara, you had said, right, with the absolve. When we
Yes.
surrender and accept, then it's resolved immediately.
Yeah.
Immediately. And then that's the dissolve. That's the dissolve from all of
But
that.
to hear yourself, there has to be quiet. Only when
Yes,
there is quiet can you hear yourself and let your intuition take over or your gut take over. But we are so busy, especially with the gadgets and the internet, that we don't have time with self. So, most important is time with self.
exactly. Exactly. And
Yeah.
people are chiming in there, loving this conversation. And of course, I never want it to end. So before we go to how to connect with you and what's coming up for you, what little golden nugget do you have to offer our listeners or watchers today about what is the first step to get towards that absolving? What can you offer for them?
Yeah.
Silence.
Silence. Yeah. Do a
Very
Vipassana.
important. Yes, very important. Every day, certain amount of your day where
Yeah.
you put away your phone, you put away your laptop, the chitter chatter in the mind, silence.
Yeah. And for me, I think this I run a 28-day gratitude journaling session very often, which really nourishes me as well. And I think like just a positive affirmation in the morning to set yourself up for the day is so important because your subconscious is so alive in the morning when real world hasn't kicked in, and at night before you sleep you finish with a gratitude to the universe for anything and everyone who's been a force of growth for whatever lessons we are, a sum total. We're a spirit having a human experience, and that really works. Peg your morning, peg your night, and then your intuition in your dreams will tell you all that you need to know.
Yeah.
Oh, that is so true.
Yeah, like you said at your Vipassana, you forgave so many people. That's where gratitude comes in. That, you
Yes.
know, they all came to teach you a lesson. So be grateful
Yes.
for that.
And
And we don't have to
spiritual.
carry the weight any
No, we
longer.
don't. Nope.
That's the weight in our minds, and then our
Yes.
bodies respond to it. You can see,
Yes.
as Minku alluded to, the disease that shows up. You know,
Yes.
we're
Yes.
not born with, most people are
Yes.
not born with
No,
diseases. It's
no,
over
no,
time,
no.
and it builds up over the body
Yeah.
because we're in that cycle. And when we can forgive ourselves first,
Yeah. And
that's
yeah.
where the ripple effect happens.
And just staying authentic to yourself. I think
Yes.
authenticity, because when you show up as something you're not, you're sooner or later going to get tired. And that
It's so true.
Because
depletion.
you're putting up a facade that, this is not true.
So, yeah, and they say be you because everyone else is taken up.
That's
Yep.
true.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, I
So
love this
basic,
conversation.
so
Ara,
basically, yes.
I want to
Sorry.
hear about, give you enough time to speak about the nest, please. I know that there are people here that need to hear about this amazing space that you are creating. Tell us more about that.
So the nest is basically, I think, after talking about absolve, resolve, and dissolve, nest is all about coming home to yourself. It is a place where women can come home and be who they are without being judged. It is not about doing more or doing less. It is about being honest with yourself and accepting yourself for who you are and what you are. And it's a dream I've carried for 15 years. I always say that I've been wanting to do it. And twice I tried it, it went belly up, even during lockdown. But when it is meant to be, so the nest is for women around the world. I'm trying to create a sisterhood. And okay, I am not trying, but working towards, me and my team are working towards creating a global platform to create a sisterhood where you can come and just be without being judged. And being honest with, not only forget outsiders, being honest with yourself.
Yes, it's so important.
Yeah.
It's so important.
A woman is a mother, a sister, a daughter-in-law, a sister-in-law, everything. She holds space for everybody. The nest is
Yes.
there to hold space for you.
Love it. And
Like it.
how do people get a hold of you, Ara? How do you want them
So
to reach you?
they can DM me on my Instagram or my LinkedIn. All my details are on my LinkedIn. They can reach me anyhow.
Okay. And in the description, they'll be able to find your information. So
Yeah, information. And I am always on my LinkedIn, so they can DM me. It's happening in January 2026, 29th of
there's
Jan,
plenty of
3rd
time
of
to
Feb.
sign up. Yes.
Yes. And it's
Yes.
happening in Bali.
Beautiful. Another
And
beautiful space.
I'm sure, April, you know why Bali, not because it's the hot tourist spot, not
No.
because, yes, there are so many things, but Bali is a land which is spiritually
Mhm.
spiritually vibrating on a very high level.
Yes, it is. You can feel it when you're there, for sure. This is
Yes,
why I
yes,
hold my retreats there as well.
yes, yeah.
Thank you so much,
Lovely.
Ara.
Yeah.
Minku,
Thank
what's
you.
coming up for you?
Yeah. So
And how do people get in touch with you?
yeah. So I definitely I have gone back to my motivational speaking. I've been addressing corporates, institutions, individuals. I run this 4-week session called the Joyfulness Code. And that's why, as you can see, my company is called the Circle of Joy. I always feel you're the queen, so wear your crown. And you can have many avatars, and don't let anyone dim your light. That's very important. And so, yeah, so I think I'm open to corporates, individuals reaching out to me to lead the 4-week sessions. I also lead the 28-day journaling experience, gratitude, where we go through every day. There's a prompt. It has been received very, very successful. And I'm very active on LinkedIn. And on that note, Ara, we need to connect on LinkedIn soon.
Yes.
And thank you. Thank you so much in this sisterhood itself for, and I hope I get to see you when I come to the US, which is after almost 9 years. April,
I
we'll try
know,
to
that would be
see how,
amazing. And you're going to
yeah,
be in the Seattle area, yes?
yes. So
Ah,
for 3 days, I'm east to west coast, mid of US. So let's try to see if we can really get energetically in the same space
that would
for
be
a hug,
lovely.
for a nice hug. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes,
I
I
so
want to say
appreciate.
something.
Yes.
For whoever's watching, please hop, skip, and jump. Laugh like there's no tomorrow. If it's raining, go dance in the rain. Do something which makes you truly joyful.
And
Don't
out of
think
the
what the world
comfort
will say.
zone.
Yes,
Yeah.
out.
Do
I mean, even
something
if you want to
new.
stop your car, if you want to stop your car, get off on the highway and do a little chicken dance. Go ahead and do it.
Yes. Yes. This is how we recalibrate and get into that flow, that joyful
Yes,
flow.
yes,
Thank you
Yes.
so
yeah.
much. And
Yes,
thank you,
thank you,
everyone,
thank you.
Thank
for
you,
being here.
Gitanjali.
Thank you.
India.
Yeah, and thank you, Mike Asherbranner and the Hounds of Business for also tuning in, and the beautiful Diana and Jennifer. And let's see here, we had somebody else come in. Leslie was here earlier too. So thank you all watching now and in the future. And reach out to these beautiful, courageous women. They have been through all the temperance, right? And they know how to support you. So please feel free to reach out to Ara and to Minnku and to myself, because together we are better. I hope
So
everyone
beautiful.
has a beautiful
Absolutely.
day and keep living with intention. Be well.
Thank you, April.
Thank you,
Thank you,
April.
and
Thank you,
loads of
Minnku.